Take the label off that, please.
Oh.
Ain't nobody getting paid.
Period.
I swear to God, listen. Every episode,
I know that's right.
every single episode, anytime I'm in a picture, anything, can you take the
pulling
label
it
off that? Man, what? Because I ain't getting paid for that. Mm-hmm. Hey, listen, if Pure Life want to pay me, though, you feel me?
Oh, my God. He's such a loser.
What's up, losers, and welcome back to another episode of the Popular Loser Podcast, where it's okay not to fit in. I'm your host, KD, and I got two new guests with me today. I'm going to let them introduce themselves.
What up, though? It's your girl, Jess G.
And it's your girl, Tashi. And we are the WhatUpDoe Podcast.
What up? What up, though? What up? What up, though?
I ain't gonna lie, that was fire. Y'all was so on cadence with each other and everything.
We are one.
We are in sync.
I feel it.
One band,
so
one
actually,
sound.
you know, I guess we can start with that, Dan. What made y'all start a podcast?
So I actually started the podcast. It's been a little over 3 years ago. I had started my first real office job, and we had a lot of downtime. And my friend was like, "Oh, well, I listen to podcasts." And that's kind of just how I started listening to podcasts. And then I'm like, I got something to say too. I'd be talking to the podcast with them. They didn't bring this up, or what about this perspective? Mm-hmm. And then a lot of podcasts now is just everybody got a podcast. Well, everybody ain't a celebrity. So I feel like the WhatUpDoe podcast, it was, friends at the kitchen table, real people with real perspectives and not celebrities with millions of dollars talking about topics that they really can't even relate to because they celebrities. So Tashi came in
almost 2 years ago now.
Yeah, she was more like a consistent guest, and then finally I'm like, all right now, girl,
if you're gonna be on every episode,
you on every episode, let's make it official. So
you was doing it by yourself?
I was doing it.
It was Jess and friends.
Yeah, it was Jess and friends.
So it was rotating.
But I would say at least about 8 to 10 consistent people that kind of rotated on different episodes. I kind of just sent a text hey, anybody want to record this week? But after that first year, it's hard with guests. Shout out to you. That's a guest-driven podcast.
Man,
because people cancel.
We have a hard time with guests now.
Yeah. So
it's worse now that I'm on the podcast too.
Yeah. So I feel like I realized that I really needed consistent co-hosts to not have to rely on guests.
And can I interrupt you right there? I actually talk about that almost every other podcast I go on to. I tell them y'all lucky. Y'all got a co-host.
Yeah.
I was like,
to bounce ideas off of.
Mine, every single episode I got somebody new. You know what I'm saying? And I kind of like it like that, but at the same time, like you said, people cancel. And then you kind of got to find another person. You might have to scramble to find another person the day of. If y'all would have canceled on me today, I don't know who I would have got. I ain't going to lie to you.
Yeah, and when people cancel on us, we just talk to each other.
Yeah.
Yeah, and see, that's the thing about having a co-host. But it's so weird about having a co-host because it got to be two personalities that kind of collide together. You know what I'm saying? And I don't know exactly who that person would be because just because you have good conversation with a person on the phone does not mean they'll be good.
Don't mean you want that shit recorded.
You feel me? You know what I'm saying?
We got some stories of some episodes where that shit did not go good.
No.
And that's what I'm saying. So it's even if it's your best friend or whoever you with every day or blah, 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 that don't mean that person would be a good co-host to your podcast. You know what I'm saying? And everybody don't know how to talk. That's one thing that I'm really learning. Everybody does not know how to talk. So, I actually have a lot of people. I'm not going to say a lot because that's a cap. But I have people hit me up in my DMs that ask to come on the show. You know what I'm saying? And, the first thing I tell everybody, listen, can you talk on camera for 45 minutes to an hour? If you can't do that, I wouldn't advise you coming on because...
Or you going to be talking to yourself.
You feel me?
That's making it harder on you.
And no matter how interesting I am, if you're not giving me something and it's a one-on-one...
Yes.
Terrible. What can I do? You know what I'm saying?
I think that's why we have more topic-driven episodes, and people ask us all the time that our artists like, oh, can I come on your podcast? You can come, but it's not an interview.
Yeah.
So don't think we're about to just sit and ask you questions about
yourself.
your come up story in your mama basement, because I don't really care.
And I can understand that, right? But so the reason I do interviews is because I'm kind of preparing myself for like the life I kind of want to live.
Yeah.
I went to school for journalism. So like this is like a stepping stone to try to get to wherever, you know what I'm saying, blah, blah, blah. So I'm going to have to interview people.
Yeah,
maybe
for
the rest of
sure.
my
I
life.
think we're
you know what
more
I'm
so
saying?
like entertainment.
Yeah, type time. I feel
Like
what
we're
you're
not interested in pulling unless it's something. If it's something good, it's gonna come out in conversation. But I think we're more conversational than having multiple questions for people.
And you really get to, when you know someone's opinion, you really getting to know them better.
Yeah.
To me, and I'm not even about to say like, oh yeah, we're the best ever, but we've never had a guest that was like, oh, that was fun. That wasn't fun.
Yeah.
Like usually people leave like, dang, when can I come back? That was really fun, because they not, especially artists, because they're not used to that type of podcast. They used to like just talking about them and their music, but you don't really get to hear their personality and their views on anything because nobody asked them.
And
I think both are real useful. Too. That's good
For sure.
people who do both.
yeah, and to kind of bite off of that, that's why now I'm trying to like kind of change the questions I ask in interviews to make it more like not even just about music, but like life. You know what I'm saying? 'Cause everything, you know, like the guy that came on last time, right? He said he had 2 kids at 16. Like, that's crazy. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's, you know what I'm saying? Like, to me, I thought he was going to give like a bigger answer when I asked him that. But like, obviously, you know, you can't depend on somebody to give you a certain answer. Now, what I'm saying is I thought he was going to be like, yeah, that shit was hard. You know what I'm saying? But he was like, you know, it wasn't really that hard. So maybe he had a support system that was behind him. You know, I don't
He's
know.
also
I don't,
the dad.
you know what I'm saying? And I don't know his life. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But that's something like I really want to gear towards more questions like that, like, and a lot of open-ended stuff. But I'm gonna let y'all finish the original question I asked, which was what made y'all start podcasting? Because I got something I want to do. But
Yeah,
go
so
ahead.
it was Jess and friends. I was just doing it at home, at my kitchen table using Anchor. The first there's really no video up until we start the studio. It was all audio. Had a co-host, 2 co-hosts. Shout out to Aja, our forever co-host. It was the 3 of us, and then it dropped down to the duo. And then I feel like we kind of in a rebranding stage.
Yeah.
We did a lot last year. I'd say was our most successful year as far as streams, and we did a live show, pop-up shop. We were nominated for the Detroit Choice Awards. So after September, we took a break. Well, really October. It was like November, December.
Yeah.
Took a break. Life happened. We had a lot of stuff going on. So I feel like we kind of in a rebranding, trying to figure out what this year.
Now we really
to
are
do
trying
this
to
year.
find out. We're really trying to figure out how to be the best business partners with each other and do the best thing for the podcast. Because Jess has been doing this for a long time. I'm still new to a lot of it. So it's a lot of stuff that I'm still falling into, and we're still learning together too. So I think this year is going to be a whole lot of us figuring it out. But I feel like last year was definitely, it was big, and we learned a lot from all the stuff that we took a step out and did. So we can't go nowhere but up from here. What was your question about us, Pie? You sound like, what's his face off of Brown Sugar? What made you fall in love?
What made you fall in love with podcasts? That's the title.
I might make that the title. Now that you said that. See, look, bingo. There you go. So I got these speed questions that I'm trying to introduce to the.
We like these.
I got some stuff that I'm trying to introduce to the podcast. I'm going through a lot of different stuff. So these is the questions I came up with. So either y'all can just answer, or both of y'all can answer, and then we can make it a conversation.
Okay.
It's all on y'all.
Let's do it.
What's the first one?
You say speed anything, I feel like it's a race. I'm like, I'm going to win. I'm going to win.
What is your most memorable memory?
Of podcasting?
Or
No.
in
Just
life?
in general?
Oh, that's a good question.
A very open-ended question.
Wait, so are you answering the question? Because you might got your answer already.
No, I would. As a host, I feel like I'm supposed to let y'all answer
My
first.
most memorable memory.
Having that kid. Having my child. I feel like there's nothing else. That's my biggest, like, most, what is it called? Fundamental
Core memory.
Big core memory. I feel like life just changes after you have a kid. So that's like my stamp when it was like, whew, all right, everything's different now.
I had Kennedy younger than you, so I feel like a real core memory was kindergarten. That first day of kindergarten, you haven't had that yet.
Oh, you mean for her?
For Kennedy, not for me.
Yeah, no.
But that was a very like, wow, like I'm a parent with a child, and we made it to age 5
In real school. 5
Real
is so
school.
scary to me. That freaks me
in
out.
kindergarten. Like I had, they go to preschool. I had never like cried. I cried. I sat in my car and cried when I took her to kindergarten because it was like it's like now you're on your own. Like go and be free and figure out school life.
So is that yours too? Having your child?
No, it's not having it. It's sending them to school. It's just, to me, that was just like a real big motherhood moment.
Mm-hmm.
I was young when I had her, so I kind of suppressed that birth story in the back of my brain.
Mine is definitely waking up and a kid existing that was in my body.
Y'all kind of took a question I was going to ask, so now I guess I can just ask that on top of that. How important is being a mom to y'all? As a person that does not have children, I always like to ask that question to any moms and dads. And I always ask, like, give a realistic answer about it, because, every parent could just tell you, like, oh, I love parenting. But every parent doesn't love
Not
parenting.
us.
Right.
No, I think...
Well, you're saying how important is it? So if you're asking how much we love being parents, we're probably at like a 3. But if you ask how important it is, we prioritize being parents over a lot when we don't want to. Like, it's not something that we're excited to sacrifice and like sacrifice the things that we do for it. But I feel like that's a gauge on how important it is to you, on what we're willing to sacrifice. And, as a mother, especially as a single parent, you give up any real choice that you have that's not for the greater good of the child. Like, you can't work certain jobs, you can't do certain things, you can't be in the streets like you used to, you can't date who you probably used to, you can't move like you used to move. So my level of importance, it's definitely a 10. Like, that's my most important role right now, especially because the first 6-7 years of a kid's life are when they're building who they are. My kid's still in that. So I'm still it's really important to me. But how I rate parenthood?
Very ghetto. Parenthood is the most ghetto hood.
Do not recommend.
It's definitely, I said, I don't know if it was not, maybe the last episode that we did. I've been a parent pretty much all my adult life. So for me, it's really like, I've never been an adult without a child. So I don't really see anything else. I don't know what it's like to I got pregnant at 21, so I don't really know any other adult life without a kid. So it feel like it's all I know. Like I don't have a life to imagine like, oh man, before I had kids, I was doing this, and this. Because
I'd be like, oh.
The only thing I can go back to is college. Like I didn't have a kid in college, but I wasn't on my own as an adult. So I feel like I don't really know no other life besides being a mom.
I feel like from 18 to 24, I was having my way out here.
You was out here?
I was.
You was a street runner?
Okay, now don't take a shit too far.
I was asking. I didn't call you.
I was never a runner.
I was just asking.
Do either of y'all want any more children?
I do. Sometimes. Some days.
I plead the fifth. I don't know. I can't see it right now, but shit, I couldn't see it 10 years ago neither. So I don't know. Whatever God has in store for me.
I don't like thinking of kids without siblings. And that's really my only reason. It's not like, oh, I really want a baby. It's like I want my kid to have a sibling.
I didn't have a sibling the first 9 years of my life.
I didn't have one the first 7.
And really, my sibling lives out of state. So really, I mean.
Y'all not even close. But when it comes to stuff later in life, because I feel like as you get older, those age gaps close.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Like, especially once you become grown, like you like 18.
And then they come to you
out
like,
the crib type
yeah. Thing. And you helping. And you're not thinking about your little sibling. And then I feel like it come down to you being older and stuff happen with your parents or your family. That's the stuff that I think about when I'm like, dang, I want my kid to have somebody to lean on. Especially because it's just me and her. Like, I don't know. I don't want her to be... I don't like the thought of her being out here in the world by herself. If there was ever a time I wasn't here.
Word.
But at the end of the day, Kennedy and Noel are siblings as well. So they'll be all right.
Yeah, I mean, I had my little cousin growing up most of my life, so I mean, I guess that was like my sibling. Mm-hmm. But next
family
question.
is what you make it.
Family is what you make it. I agree with that. Describe yourself in 3 words. Actually, I mean, did y'all want me to share what mine was?
Your core memory?
Yeah.
Yes. Please. Of course.
My most memorable memory. Probably committing to go to school when I was a senior in high school. That was probably like that was the happiest moment of my life. Because I was like, when I was a junior, I didn't even think I was going to graduate high school. I had like a 1.5 going into my I know. You know what I graduated with?
Sound like Kevin
a 2.4.
Hart. Damn.
I graduated with a 2.4.
Oh, you turned that shit around.
In 1 year.
That's good.
That's something to be
Because
proud
I wasn't
of.
trying, bro. That's all it was.
Yeah.
I wasn't trying.
I think
And
that's
then
a lot
once
of
I
boys
mean,
at that age.
they give you a C
Facts.
just for trying.
Facts. I wasn't trying.
I feel like before I had Noel, my most memorable memory was graduating.
So I was a little torn because getting my master's was like my other close one, but
But yeah,
Big accomplishments.
when I committed to go to school, that was like, I feel like I beat all odds in life.
you did.
Yeah.
You know what's so crazy though? So many people go to college nowadays that like, did you really? You feel me? Like, just to be real, you know what I'm saying? Like, did you really? You know how many people I know that went to college? When I was a freshman in college, we had 55 freshmen come in on the football team. By the half of the semester, we had 40 players. By the half of the first semester.
That ain't even.
That's like
to
8 weeks.
It's not even. You ain't even get to December. That's like. Did they make it to Thanksgiving?
You feel me? By the end of the
People
year,
get in and decide that it ain't for me.
man, you hear me?
It ain't for me.
They be like, I want to play football, but you forgot school came with football.
Yeah, you don't get to just go and play. This
That's true.
That's really all we go to school for. I probably wouldn't have went to college if
you couldn't play.
hell no, I probably wouldn't have. I ain't gonna lie. Not up front. Like after a while, I probably would have, but not as soon as I graduated. Man, listen, I just told you I thought I wasn't graduating. I went from not graduating to going to school for 5 years. What?
God damn, 5 years.
I
probably went to school for 5
I
years.
would suggest
Like
I would suggest that anybody that really wanna, even if you don't go out of state, you gotta get a couple hours away from home to really have a successful
Experience.
college experience.
Did not want me to leave.
Because I
I went to Minnesota.
I feel like my
Sheesh.
college experience would have been so much more different had I went to Eastern up the street. Because you're around the same people, the same patterns. You're really not leaving your environment and submerging yourself into campus. Like, you just going to school. And I feel like it would have been... I feel like that's why a lot of people don't finish, because you're not outside of what you used to.
Right. That's true.
Yeah, I feel like if you go to school, like, if you're from, like, the Metro Detroit area, and you go to, like, Wayne State, you're going to see a lot of people. Like either, especially if you play sports all your life, you really going to see a lot of people that you play sports against, that you went to school with, all type time, for sure.
I say all the time, when I went to Western, it was culture shock. Like, and I was that's right up 94. That's not even 2 hours away. But it was culture shock being around so many people that you had never been around before.
Different types of people. Yeah.
I mean, you go from being the first year, I'm like, where are the blacks? I know there's some black people around here somewhere. But then when you find them, that's like people kind of be like, oh, you didn't go to a HBCU. But it's a mini HBCU on every college campus.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
So once you find them, you like, wow, this is like, it's my people. But if I would have stayed home, I feel like I wouldn't have never had that same experience.
3 of my schools were out of state.
You went to 3 schools?
Man.
Lord have mercy.
I don't even want to tell y'all the story. I was just chasing the whole football dream type thing. And then I just found out it was over with, so I came back home. But I went to school in Minnesota, middle of nowhere, Minnesota. I should add, middle of nowhere, Kansas. Middle of nowhere, Kansas. Listen, I went on a podcast and talked about my time when I went to school there.
In Kansas?
Yes.
It was a good time?
No. Oh. No, it was not. So listen, you got to understand, right? I only date black women, right? So now you got to think. We in the middle of nowhere, Kansas.
No black people.
So, right. And so you got to think almost all the black people on campus is the guys. Football team, basketball team.
I know they was knocking them white girls down.
Allegedly.
Bro, they was knocking them down even in Kalamazoo.
Allegedly.
Privately.
Right. Yeah. Facts.
That town was so small though. Like I'm from the Detroit area, so you know what I'm saying? Like I'm big city, you know what I'm saying? This town, literally, it was a town, right? The town had less people in it than my high school did my senior year.
Damn.
I was in a town of like 1,700 people.
Everybody literally knows everybody.
Literally.
Are they racist?
I never experienced any racism.
Well,
but I can't tell you every football player that lived out that went to school out that way hasn't.
Right.
But did I? Nah, I went to school there for a year. And then part of it was missed because of COVID. So
Oh, that was recently.
yeah. But the whole town, we had 2 gas stations, a Wendy's, a Pizza Hut.
No McDonald's.
No.
How do you
the
not
nearest
have a McDonald's?
Walmart was 30 minutes
That's how
away.
you know it's time.
That is crazy.
The nearest Walmart was 30 minutes away.
Yeah.
We had a Sonic and a Dollar General. That was like the whole, and then like a tire shop.
So the Dollar General was the grocery store.
Basically. They made it into like a mini Walmart kind
You
of.
know, I slept on Dollar General up until last year.
I damn near
I fucks with
direct
Dollar
neighbors
General.
with Dollar General.
I never had went in there until recently. I'm like, oh, it's not too bad in here.
You know what's so crazy? I came into this not having a topic, and we just talking.
We're professionals.
What was your next question?
Oh, yeah,
No,
you're
I'm
right.
curious.
Hot.
Describe yourself in 3 words.
Oh, yeah.
Funny.
A hoot.
What's the word I'm looking for?
An empath.
What does that mean?
It means that you feel your feelings very deeply. And you feel everybody else's feelings very deeply. And you feel everything very deeply. And you always feel like you're going to just explode. Feelings. God. That is
Are
some
you
shit.
an empath?
Yes.
Yeah, that was my word for her.
I want to take it away. I want to take it off sometimes and give it to somebody. Just put it up. Hang it up for the day. But yes, that's definitely. Do you feel like you're an empath?
No.
I don't feel like you are either. She be letting shit go like.
What can you do about it?
I'm trying to learn that.
Gone.
I'm trying
I
to
don't
learn
have
that
that.
more. I'm trying to learn.
To let stuff go.
Yeah, I'm trying to learn it.
You can do it. I'm telling you.
I know. I just got to stop caring, man. Just got to be like, okay.
You can care, but you just can't care.
Right.
You gotta feel the feelings and move through 'em.
Yeah.
That's
So
what
hold
I'm
on, what was
working
your 3 words? I'm sorry. My bad to interrupt y'all.
on. I don't know what my third one is.
You said funny,
That's definitely number 1.
empath. Was that your second? Mm-hmm. Yeah, so you got a
What's
third.
yours?
No, that was yours.
Yeah.
I was saying
we
it
was going
for
at
you.
the same time.
Oh no, I would say I know for sure. Leader, loyal, compassionate-ish. Sometimes. Leader and loyal, I feel like are my 2 main.
I feel like I'm friendly. No, that's it. You had 2? You said, what did you say? Leader and
Give me one.
You funny too? Have funny. A hoot, like you said.
I guess I go to the third question.
What's your 3?
Oh.
The people want to know.
Listen, that's an interesting question for myself because I don't even...
I also
Extra with like 6 X's. I would say funny. I don't think I'm that funny. I think my reactions is funny. I don't know. That's an interesting question. I don't even know that.
I feel like my 3 words, it depends on what we doing. If we podcasting, like those 3 is different from my family to being a parent to being a partner. I feel like it just depends on what I'm doing. Like work, like I'm the HR manager. So work me and podcast me, them is two different people. They are not the same.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't think of 2 more for myself. I don't know. I'm gonna have somebody else ask.
Creative.
So.
Like I feel like, well, clearly we're all creators. None of us said use that word.
Yeah.
I feel like my creativity is still so low. Got to get it to like Joe Rogan level.
Joe Rogan.
That's like, it's like he probably got the most downloads of podcasts
But why?
of all time. What do you
Why?
mean?
What he be
Joe
talking
Rogan is
about?
incredible.
Why?
You ain't
Why?
never watched Joe
What
Rogan?
makes him so incredible? Tell me why.
He
You know who's
he kind of
incredible?
interviews people, and he just get a lot of good questions out of a lot of good people. Get a lot of good content.
Well, that makes sense because interviewing is not my thing. So that makes sense.
I watch a lot of like interview based type podcasts. So
Yeah.
I really don't want to keep shouting other podcasters out that's big though, because
You got any local favorites?
yeah, Dora and Daisy. They used to do it here. They fire. Got to give a shout out to Don't Mind Us. They came on mine. I went on theirs recently.
I like them. They're not from here, are they?
Yeah, I think they are.
Oh,
I didn't know that.
me neither. I'm about to
We've
have
talked to them a few times.
Yeah.
A person I think is gonna possibly do a collab with me. It's like Lux. I think it's like Lux Talk. I like theirs. I don't know. I listen to a lot of different podcasts though, so I can't really. I probably listen to about 9-10 different people like from like the Michigan area because I listen to sports podcasts from the Michigan area. You know what I'm saying? So I don't really. It's so many different people I get to be naming. That'll be 4 minutes of content. I guess I make this the last one. What is the most interesting fact you've ever heard?
A fact.
I'll go first on this one, actually. An ostrich can run up to 50 miles an hour.
I don't think I realized ostriches. Well, they got them skinny little legs. My dad got bit by an ostrich.
What? Why was he that close?
Don't I?
Do you know how tall an ostrich really is? I think it's like 6 foot. That's crazy.
So's my dad.
You want to know an animal fact I recently learned?
What?
A rabbit ate her babies.
Yep.
Wild.
They died, and she ate all 4 of them.
Isn't that like
Savage rabbit. Savage bunny.
what you call it? Cannibalism? Isn't that like cannibalism?
Technically, yeah.
But animals eat each other, so I don't think that's a thing for them. But she ate her own babies. Like, golly.
I mean, in the wild, I feel like that's
lady.
normal. I mean, nothing else gonna happen to him. Either she gonna eat him or somebody else
I'm
gonna
trying
eat
to think of something random I know. I don't
Hold
know.
on. Can I bite off of that? That's really true. And I be thinking about how different humans and like animals really are, right? When you really just sit and think, like, what really makes us different is the fact that we have a set of rules, really. Because they have
Morals.
consciences. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
Animals ain't got no morals for real.
But they do, though, to a sense. Like, they
Certain
not
ones.
doing, yeah, they not, like, it's certain, like, when wolves ride together as a pack, they always stick together as a pack. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's a base rule within themselves. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, the only
Elephants
thing-
always travel together.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
Elephants
that's what I'm
are probably
saying,
the
like,
most morally intelligent animals for sure.
So I don't know, you know, just the difference between animals and humans, it's so incredible of like how different it really is, and like how they don't got to worry about bills, and you know what I'm saying? Their whole life is surviving.
Must be nice. I wish somebody would take me into captivity.
They ain't gotta worry
Take
about
care
it.
of
They whole being of life is just, we got to survive.
Surviving.
Yeah.
I mean,
We gotta
technically
get
it's
food
ours
to-
too.
Right, but
Even
we got to
different.
pay taxes. We got to do
Even
this,
when
we
it
gotta do
comes to
that.
babies, only human babies are useless. Like any other animal that has a baby can walk and eat on its own without
When it's
help.
born within hours.
Yeah. And then think about it, like they become their own being basically very quickly.
That's because a lot of times they got to survive without their parent.
Right.
It's not like they raise them until they. I feel like the only animals that really do that are like monkeys and kangaroos and elephants. Maybe giraffes.
I don't know enough about animals. to say.
I literally was just about to say that. Like,
I follow
I
this.
don't really like animals.
I follow this guy on TikTok who talks about animals. I don't know if you ever seen his videos. He talks about like all the shit that you don't know about animals.
Yeah,
He
black guy.
Yes.
Yeah, I
I
know who you're
love
talking
him.
about. I know exactly who you're
I
talking
go to his page sometimes.
Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah, he now listen, you talk about interesting facts.
Bruh.
That boy knows some facts
I'm
about animals.
like,
How did
done-
he know that?
He done traumatized me talking about koalas, the shit he said about koalas, and the shit he said about dolphins.
What they be doing?
Koalas, first of all, I'm pretty sure that they have chlamydia.
What?
Like they always have chlamydia, and they're violent.
How
Like
did-
How
they're,
would they
Get it.
know that? How would they know
They
that?
be
Just
testing
testing them.
they got chlamydia.
Do they give
And I
them
think they
the
be
pill
raping.
for it?
No, they just always have it.
Oh, like
It's
it don't
just
go
like
away.
in their body, and
So how did we get it? As far
I don't
as
know if it
humans,
started with
like,
them.
did it start with a? Did somebody do something with a koala and now
could've.
they just done gave it to the human race?
But
That's disgusting.
I think the shit about dolphins scare me the most. Well, okay, I'm scared. My fact
dolphins.
is definitely about the ocean. The ocean scares the shit out of me.
Yeah, I'm not.
I am terrified.
People that
like,
go like snorkel. That is
I'm
not
not doing
appealing to
Can't
me.
do it.
I'm not doing
Can't
that.
do
Y'all
it.
have only discovered 10% of this.
You know,
Of
and
all
that's
the
so
ocean.
crazy, right? They be
What?
saying the bottom of the ocean.
There's
if
no
y'all
bottom
have
of the ocean.
right, if
There's
y'all
really
have
no
only
bottom.
discovered so much, how is it the bottom
I think
of the
the
ocean?
bottom of the ocean is space.
Damn,
I know, right?
I don't know.
Anyway,
I ain't gonna lie, I'm gonna cut that and I'm gonna ask people, do they? Oh yeah,
but the dolphins.
that's a question right there.
The they have like a he was talking about how like they were doing this experiment and basically a dolphin fell in love with a human, and when the human like I feel like it like stopped coming around it, something happened and the dolphin raped the human. The dolphins be raping each other. Dolphins
So I
be
wonder
raping
how-
other
how
How did
animals.
it get on top of the
How does
human?
it? how does
Dolphins
it
are
rape a
more
human?
violent than sharks.
How does
Dolphins
it rape a
kill.
human though?
I don't know.
That's like I feel like
I wonder
that's
if I
the
can
biggest
find it.
question. That'd be
But
crazy.
dolphins definitely.
Hey, no, you
choose
can't.
violence
You gotta
every
turn the
time.
volume down.
I just feel like if a
Oh, I'm not
dolphin
about
was
to.
to get on top of you, you would
I can't remember
suffocate.
how. Maybe it was
like
the-
I'm just very confused.
That's what I'm saying. Like, how did they rape it?
I don't know, but I know
that
that
it just do the
it
flippers
happened.
down. Like, you know what I'm
but
saying?
I feel like the person had sex with the dolphin first.
That's
That's
nasty.
probably what it was trying to do. It was trying to go in that blowhole.
But they say dolphins are.
Shut up.
No, I'm cap. They don't even got a blowhole, do they? Yeah, they do. Yeah, they do, right?
I think
they do.
Yeah, they do.
But I feel like dolphins are more violent. Like they rape each other, they kill each other's babies. Like
They say killer whales kill each other babies too.
yeah, but dolphins are like more violent than whales and sharks. Definitely sharks. Sharks are really like not even the shit you.
I feel like sharks just don't fuck with humans.
Sharks just look scary because dolphins look real
They
nice.
just
but
really
they be
not
killing
trying to
people.
be. They just like
But dolphins are like the most, like besides us, they're the most intelligent creatures. Like they have like really good memories. They remember everything, like elephants.
Do y'all hear that? I hear something in my headphone. It just threw me off guard. I'm like, what is that?
Maybe it was you.
Yeah,
No, it's still there. Something's playing. I'll just ignore it.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, you tripping. See, this is what not prepared get you. I guess I'm
Was
gonna go
that
back to
your
the question
question?
list. No, I'm gonna go back to the question list. Hold on.
Oh,
No, we had a topic though. I thought. No,
No, he didn't.
he didn't want to do it.
We don't need
My
to
bad.
talk about that.
What's one piece of advice you would give your younger self? Life's gonna be hard, buddy. Buckle up.
Basically, the same shit I tell my 3-year-old now. I should be like, "That's not fair. Shit's not fair." The same thing my Nina used to tell me: "Life's a bitch, and then you die." That's what I would tell myself.
Facts.
It sucks sometimes. Life is gonna suck sometimes, and it's gonna be great sometimes, and then it's gonna suck again, and then
You know what's so crazy
goes
in
on.
life? It's more sucky moments though.
You think so? Or is
I
it just
would
that we
say so.
don't acknowledge the good moments when they here?
Also, what is good?
When shit not chaotic,
I feel like
to me.
we just so materialistic. It's a lot of happy poor people that are just fine with, like this is our life. Like for example, somebody that I seen something like a drone had found like a unknown group of people, and they were talking about like, and they like looking up at the drone like these group, whatever this tribe or whatever it is, and I'm sure they're perfectly happy because they don't know nothing. They don't know nothing about no internet, Instagram, Gucci, Fendi, Prada. That's not what they strive to be as a people. So we just spoil and think we should have everything, and we keep striving to get it and feel like life sucks when we don't get it, when you don't get your way.
Isn't that kind of what the American mindset is, though? Low key.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and that's why you have.
money.
I mean, when they could compare America to all these other different countries, America's the fattest. We got the most homeless people. We
got the most heart disease.
Diseases.
Diabetes.
Literally the most
Cancer.
unhealthiest. We just
The most
think that we
processed
supposed to be
food.
like the best country. We're literally one of the worst when it comes to health, wealth,
Democracy.
democracy, how smart we are. Like they literally give us the worst versions of everything, and we take it.
Listen, you know what's so
We
crazy,
don't know
right?
no different.
There's just like when they talk about like Africa, right? They make Africa seem like the whole
And it's
continent
not.
of
The
Africa
motherland.
is poor.
Yeah.
Like just like in
Kings and
America,
queens.
Detroit. If you live in the inner city of Detroit, more than likely that's the poorest part, right? Mm-hmm. It's the same thing. You show us like the worst of the worst, and you be like, "Oh, this is what Africa is." Like, not
They
really.
over
They
there
got
living
suburbs.
like royalty. Yeah.
They got suburbs. They got middle class. They got low class. They got super low class. Just like America got the same thing.
Everywhere has poor and they have
You hear me?
rich.
Everywhere on earth has
I can
a
guarantee.
rich and a poor.
I can
And the middle
guarantee
class.
you,
Yeah.
nothing in this room was made in America. Literally everything
Probably
we
Except
get,
us.
everything we get is from
Another country.
another
for sure.
country.
Yeah.
It's all because of cheap labor, though.
So it's just like, oh, well, okay, but we still getting it from them.
I mean, yeah, that's true.
So it's just kind of like, even how they said like the TikTok version in Asia compared to the TikTok here is different for kids. Like they're promoting, if you ask a kid in China what they want to be a astronaut. If you ask a kid in America
TikTok
what they want to
star.
be, they say an influencer.
TikTok star.
That just tells you right there, like, we're doomed.
So, kind of tapping into that because both of y'all are mothers. So, as your kid gets older, I know you said your kid's 10 out, right? Mm-hmm. So, this is what I always say to people. This is no matter who you are. I feel like you know your kid until they get to middle school. The moment you get in middle school, now you starting to exchange with different types of people. You got people that's like having sex. You got people that's doing drugs, all type time, right?
I was not doing that in middle school.
Me neither.
I mean,
But I know
we
people
all
who
right. I was
was.
about to say we all know people that was right.
I know
So
people that was.
you know, being moms, like, how do y'all cut out like, you know, being on YouTube and like the tablet and blah blah blah,
You
and all
take
that type
it.
of stuff?
I'll take it in a heartbeat.
I block pages.
Run me that. Oh, you talking back? Give me that phone. Are you frowning? Are you mad?
Girl, shut up.
You're mad at me? Turn the TV off. Now you really mad. Oh, you thought you was gonna listen to Alexa? Turn that off. I'll turn off all electronics. Sit in your room and read a book. And write me 2 paragraphs on what you read. Cause my
My grandma
child
used
is
to do that.
my child is at the age where you can get punished with schoolwork. So go read for an hour. What'd you get on? You got a 75 on that division test? Go run them multiplication and division flashcards for 30 minutes. A lot of it is the parents, and I'm guilty of it too. You give them the device so they can leave you alone.
Yep.
Well, you can leave me alone and do something else, like read. It's the same thing. You just choosing what you giving to them to go and do something else. So,
My kid ain't there.
yeah. I mean, she's still young, but
You don't let your daughter, I mean, well, I don't know if you have a son or a daughter.
Daughter.
Okay. Do you let your daughter like play with the iPad and stuff like that yet?
She got her tablet. It's her little.
So how do you limit it? Or
I
do you
block
not?
pages that I don't want her seeing. Sometimes I hear her watching something. I'm like, let me see that. Block page. Get away from that. But I try to I go on and I like follow like black creators of kids shows because she's 3. So she watches a lot of like stuff with people playing, but they have like black people playing with like, it's like a little girl playing with her sibling. They have a lot of shows that are centered around us. That I feel like are healthy for her to watch. It's a lot of stuff on YouTube that's just little spoiled ass white kids acting crazy as hell. And that seemed like it's the thing that I blocked the most. Because I noticed, even when she was watching like Peppa Pig, I'm like, her attitude sucks. This Peppa Pig is a brat.
put your lips together and blow.
Boop, boop, boop.
Have y'all ever seen like the scary version to that?
Yes.
The scary version?
Yes. No, I was watching that one
it's
day.
a real life scary version to
A
it.
Peppa Pig?
Yes.
Yes.
What she be doing? Killing people?
Yes.
Oh.
It'd be blood everywhere and the little
Sorry,
eyebrows.
I had never seen that.
That's scary as hell.
It's another show that they do it to too. I can't think of the show, but
They
it's
do it to a
obviously
lot of 'em.
Yeah, it's obviously people making
Redoing
it. Yeah,
it,
you know what I'm
okay.
saying?
But
Yeah,
there
I've
used to
never
be a
seen that.
thing back some years ago. They would like put in the shows. It'd start off all normal, and then it would like get demonic and be like, "Oh, go get a knife and go stab your mom." Like
I remember them
wild
telling
shit.
kids to like stick the keys in the
in the outlet.
and the outlets.
Yeah,
And I remember them saying, "Be on the lookout for that."
bro. I would punch Noah right in her throat. What the fuck are you doing? Why are you doing that? You don't listen to them. You listen to me. What is happening? Yeah. I feel like it's scary because these phones, the same way they be having a hold on us. This generation growing
You
up.
just have to
we didn't grow up
monitor
with
it.
them all the time. We weren't even thinking about no phones at their ages.
We didn't have the internet at our fingertips. Even if you wanted to get on AOL and you was supposed to be on that, you still had to be at home.
Sitting
At
in front
home
of a
to do
computer
it.
that was stationary.
You couldn't
in the
do
living
it in the car and
Yeah.
at your friend's house.
I feel like internet. I've always said this. I feel like the internet was the best and worst thing to give to humankind.
I just feel like we were the the best generation as far as like the experience with the internet because we didn't have it all our lives. And I kind of feel like it should be like that. Like I wish everybody could have that experience of like knowing what it's like to not have it. And then kind of growing up because we were right at the point where
Remember Ask Jeeves before Google?
Yes.
I was about to say, I know I ain't that damn old. Y'all was looking at me like y'all ain't never heard
I'm
Ask
older.
Jeeves nothing.
I'm younger than both of y'all.
Yeah.
So you ain't have Ask Jeeves?
You grew up with your phone?
That was before Google.
Nah, I wouldn't say that. I didn't get a phone till I was about like a real phone, like with the internet and all that. I didn't really get a phone till I was like 13.
That's still young.
I got a phone at 15 and it was a Nextel with nothing for calls only.
So yeah, that's the
Mine
thing
too.
though, right?
That was
we
it.
talking about like
I
certain
couldn't
all you
type
types.
could
on
do
my
was
phone.
call.
So if we talking about like certain types of phones, I got like a mini phone when I was young,
I
but I
did
don't really
too. I
count
had a track
that.
phone.
You know what I'm
never had
saying?
a
Like I
track
had
phone.
that one. Then I had like the little boost joint with it looked like the BlackBerry,
Yeah.
but it was a boost one.
Yeah.
I had one of them, and then my first like touchscreen phone was on my 13th birthday.
I did not. Actually, well, I had one that I could like text on, but actual smartphones, like I think I had graduated high school when I got an actual like iPhone, like touchscreen, had the internet.
It was just crazy because Kennedy 9 got an iPhone at 9.
How y'all feel about like just the advancement of technology?
It's scary. It scares me. It's good and it's bad. It's bittersweet, but it's scary.
It scares me also.
It's just
I
so
think
much.
the biggest thing that scares me personally is how much the internet is really taking over our entire lives. So like what I mean by that is like you go to a restaurant, they don't even have menus anymore. Like there are restaurants who don't carry menus.
Yep.
They have a thing on the table.
QR code.
You know what I'm saying? And then you just scan it. So I feel like that's the thing I'm most scared of is just like how much of our lives is starting to take over. Like even in the cars, you got internet access in your car now. Everywhere you go, it's internet access. Wi-Fi is the most powerful drug in the world. You hear me?
It is.
Some
What's the
good
Wi-Fi?
Wi-Fi. Man, you hear? Listen, as soon as I get in the crib, what's the Wi-Fi, bro? Having 4 bars of Wi-Fi? What?
I think for me, it's really just taking away like knowledge of basic things, like reading a map or knowing how to get somewhere without needing the directions.
We used to have to print the directions.
But think that's still our generation to print the directions. There was no. You literally just had to know your way around.
You know when it flooded? What was that? Almost 2 years ago. Remember when it was that bad flood? Like all the freeways were messed up. I was trying to get somewhere downtown. Didn't know where I was going. Got to my grandma's house. Had dropped Noel off. Got on the Wi-Fi there because my phone. Remember, like all the phones went out. Like I didn't have no phone.
The internet was like.
But it was AT&T.
It was like no data.
AT&T. Like
Yeah,
all of their phones were off. Like nobody. There was no. Not even like no signal. Like there was no phones. You could not use your phone. And I got to the Wi-Fi and I looked up the directions and I had to screenshot the directions.
That's
like
crazy.
step by step.
And
I
don't
was
miss
like,
a turn.
Bro,
Burnt.
I'll be in the damn Detroit River.
Yeah. For the most part,
We so dependent on them GPSs. They could really take us straight into the lake.
it's
Listen.
a lot.
We make the turn. Like,
It's a lot of cities. Like last night when we was on the freeway and it got backed up, I'm like, I know where Haggerty is. If I can get to Haggerty or a mile street,
I can get
home.
Oh well, yeah, yeah. Depending, especially if you like in your general area of where you
Yeah.
live.
Yeah.
If you
I was like,
know
oh, I
certain
know exactly
streets,
where
yeah,
we
you
at.
know certain streets, you good. You don't.
God
really gotta worry
forbid
about
you be out of town and your phone
Oh man,
goes
what?
out.
Imagine being in a country and your phone go out.
Bro, drug dealers back in the day, they had like they was going to Chicago. How do you know where to go?
94, 95,
Chicago,
96.
Kentucky, Tennessee.
They ain't had no choice.
moving
and they wanted
bricks
to get there.
to
And
California.
think about it, they was
That's a
renting-
cross country trip
That's because they really know how to read the signs, too.
With a
'Cause
map.
We don't even pay them signs no attention.
with a
Not
map.
at all.
Yeah. With a map. We be having a map, but the map telling us what to do.
Turn left.
I couldn't go nowhere. I would be so...
I'm so dependent on. I ain't gonna lie to you, right? Like people that say like, "Oh, I wish I was born earlier." Blah blah blah. Listen, first off, you black, so if you go back a little earlier, you feel me?
Your ass is
life
grass.
wasn't too smooth, my baby. You go back to them 60s, them 70s,
Bro, even
and
growing up
anywhere
in the 90s, I say
Facts.
all the time,
Facts.
like,
Shit ain't
I
much
was
better
in-
right now.
That's what I'm saying.
in
So it's like,
elementary
but
school,
if you go
being
back and
discriminated against.
I don't want to go no further.
if you go back 30 years, 20 years before you was born,
and being a woman,
right? That too.
you can't do shit.
So I tell
Shit.
everybody, like, you don't wish you was born in a different time.
No.
You don't. You just wish you was born in a simpler time. But a simpler time was probably the most worst time, if you want to just be honest.
I mean, I feel like everything is always even. Like everybody got this hustling mentality right now, and you are able to go out and get more money and do more than we ever really have been able to do, and everything costs a fucking $1 million.
Bruh.
So now you feel like you got to go make $1 million. I got to have a job, and I got to have a hustle, and I got to be a mama.
Literally.
I got to do 1 million different things just to make ends meet.
and being
just
a mom
like-
is a full-time job in itself, for real.
Full time.
Just like
because
you
when they're not in
can't-
my sight, I'm worried.
how they be like, oh, you gotta, you can't really just have a high school diploma. It's literally just like you can't just have a bachelor's. Even with me having a master's, I still am like, what else can I do outside
some
of
more
my
money.
career to make more money?
Yep.
And I make decent money, and it's still not enough. But again, that's just us as Americans feeling like we need these other things to.
I don't feel like I need nothing
hold
but
on,
my-
I was about to say, hold on, I'm
housing.
sorry. But see, this is
I
the thing,
need-
right? This is the
Yeah,
thing.
that's
I need.
for sure.
This is the thing, right? A lot of us, we don't even need like the most expensive stuff, but
I want it.
basic life is expensive now too. That's the thing. So it's not just the
Bro,
fact that
it's
you want to
bidding wars
live
on
more.
apartments.
But
You
then-
feel me? For
yeah.
real.
On apartments, they like, oh, you could pay $1,000. What can you pay?
Right.
You can pay $1,200.
It's yours. And then your shit go up $200 the first year you're there. How am I supposed to live like this?
I've been very lucky in my life, and I've still lived with my peoples.
Must
But
be nice.
nah. But listen though, this the thing, right? You get into that career, your career might take you somewhere different. So you feel me? I'm trying to be a journalist and all this other type of stuff. What if it moved me away from like this? You know what I'm saying? I gotta grow up like that.
I mean, but you got to take the opportunity that you got. We
Oh, yeah,
both
most
lived with our
definitely.
parents
100%,
for a nice majority of our lives and had some kind of help, at least when not having to pay rent. But you just got to stack, do what you can while you have. Because think about, you need to be trying to save what rent is in real life every month and put that shit in a savings account. Because that's real. And then pay off the first year of your rent when you move wherever you going. Because that shit is hard. Like, paying your rent month to month, having to work, you don't have there's nothing else after that. And then don't have to be paying childcare, electricity, water, internet,
groceries.
You got a car note,
groceries, car note.
insurance.
Dare not want to go on a date to the movies. Have you been
Out
to
with
the
your
movies
friends for
lately?
drinks.
You want to drink?
Drinks be like
buy my
$10
liquor,
a pop.
bro, we drinking in the car, and I'm getting the liquor from Sam's Club. We're not doing this anymore. I can't even get a bottle from the liquor store.
You know what's so crazy? And a lot of black people are scared to admit what you just said right there.
What?
Like, the whole not how you just said, and I'm buying it from Sam's Club, and I'm not even buying it from the
liquor
Yeah,
store.
hell
You know what I'm saying? Like,
I'm about to get them damn
I'ma
Chaldeans
wait.
my money.
like you know what I'm saying? Like a lot of black people can't y'all get what I'm
Yeah,
trying to say?
It's a status thing.
It got to
It's
be
like-
Duce. It can't be members only.
Yeah. But even if it's Duce from Sam's Club, you're still getting a deal. You're still getting more.
I don't know. That Duce is quite expensive.
But you still getting your money's worth. I feel like if you getting it in bulk, you buying that damn bottle from the liquor store every weekend, that shit add up. We get the thing of tequila from Sam's Club, and
gonna last you
we
a few
good for at
weeks.
least a month.
Yeah.
We not buying no more bottles. It's not a bottle every weekend. That's mama shit. I can't afford that. And you want me to pay for childcare? And I gotta feed this kid.
Dare
I'm
not.
gonna need a drink.
Bro, I
That's a
remember
necessity too.
this is when I realized, like, dang, should I have scammed during COVID?
Yes.
Right after COVID, I went to, was it Exodus? It was like, it was Exodus, like Quiet Storm on Tuesdays, the little R&B party. And they got this thing where you could get like, it's like a boat, like the Shot Girl boat. And it's like 3 bottles of Moet on each side, and then like a bottle of the Don Julio. And I'm just seeing all these boats going through. I'm like, I fucked up in this COVID recession.
How the hell?
Because I'm adding it up like that's like I don't know how much it was. I can't remember. But I'm just looking at these bottles float on by, and I'm just like, I did something wrong here in life.
Some people got hit though.
So I did, but it's like I can understand the risk if you use the money right.
You know what's so
exactly,
crazy?
and that's the thing. That's not the place to be spending
It ain't.
the money.
But I'm like,
You know what's so crazy, right? Like, even though like scamming is wrong, it's really not
it?
for real. Yeah, that's what I was about to say. It's really
Bro,
not.
Scamming
Like,
from who? Like,
we
bro, if I could go rob Target right now and not get away with that shit, I would never feel guilty in my life. Because what are y'all missing? They already overpricing. We could be growing half the shit that we putting in our bodies anyway. We going out and buying it. I would love to have a little garden for all the shit that I go and spend $40 on. Like, it's right here at my fingertips.
It literally
And I
grows
only
off the
got to
ground.
buy the other shit. And half that stuff is so processed. It's terrible for you anyway. We all got cancer growing somewhere in us from all the shit we eating. I can't. I need to not be paying for stuff like that. It's not scamming.
I feel like a lot of stuff should really be free. Like, I ain't gonna lie, water
free.
should not cost money.
You should just be able to go and get
All the stuff that you can get on Wick should be free.
Mm-hmm.
Cheese, milk, eggs, and fruits and vegetables.
Yeah.
and not just dairy products, but stuff that other people can eat too.
Yeah,
It
like
should be
basic shit.
plant-based stuff. All of that you should be able to get.
It's just you know what's really interesting to me is how they do price gauging, right? So if it's like a steak, like how they can charge high for a steak, right? Mm-hmm. But if it's like lamb chops, that's another one that's high. Like, how do they price that? Is it like based off the animal and how much it produces? Like, you know, I've always had that question, like, how do you price a T-bone steak from a cube steak from a whatever steak? You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
it's all about
how do you gauge that?
The packaging and this is actually what I've been teaching Kennedy. So like when we go to the grocery store, I have her paying attention to like the price of her snacks. So for example, if you basic things, Heinz ketchup, right? You got the regular size bottle, and then you got the other bottle where the ketchup comes out from the bottom. It costs more to make that cap, and it's more convenient to have your ketchup squeeze out from the bottom than from the top, because it's all gravity's gonna pull it down.
But if you get the great value kind, it's about the same size as the.
Not getting that. However,
the more expensive one.
And
so
to kind of bite off of that, I'm sorry to interrupt you.
oh no, you good.
To kind of bite off of that, what's the company? They do the dish detergent.
Yeah,
They got a new one.
Yes,
The one that's on the
Dawn.
bottom. Yeah.
Yes.
And it's $2 more.
It's more.
That convenience
$2.
fee.
And it's the same size as the one that's about this big. It's the same exact size.
So I tell Kennedy, I'm like, you know, why do you think this costs more? And she's just like, because even if you look at the ounces, the bottle, it looks visibly bigger than the one where you squeeze out from the bottom. So just little stuff like that I'm showing her. Cheez-Its. You can get a big box of Cheez-Its for $2.50. The individual 6-pack is what, $5-6? And I'm like, okay, well, which one do you want? Do you want the one where you got to put it in the baggie yourself and you're going to have $3 left, or do you want the one that's individually packaged? She's like, I want this one. This one, I'm going to get more Cheez-Its out of it.
That's really a smart tactic to teach her kids.
So really just showing her like the difference, like, you know, you can get 50 Ziploc gift bags from the dollar store for $1.
Yep.
And you can get this big box of Cheez-Its, and now you have Cheez-Its for the whole week compared to this 6-pack of Cheez-Its that's going to be gone
by the end of the week.
buy this, or have one for the month and this for the week. So
That's how I started doing that stuff with them the fake Oreos, because I'm not buying a pack of individually wrapped cookies. I'm paying for y'all to wrap the shit, and I gotta unwrap it just to put it in a lunchbox anyway.
People are really trying to catch up from COVID. That's why you see so much stuff, because during COVID, eggs were like 50 cents. Flights was $50. Everything is being jacked up price wise because a lot of companies are playing catch up. A lot of companies went down during COVID, except for like Charmin, whose stock went crazy because y'all needed toilet paper for whatever reason so bad.
Toilet paper and water.
Toilet paper and water, but a lot of people is really just trying to get back what they lost the past couple years. A lot of companies, and that's why stuff is so expensive. Gas, remember, gas was under $2, I think.
It was just low. It was just like $2.70.
And it went back up.
Like, no, not even a couple. Like a month ago, it was like
it was super
$2.70.
cheap.
Yeah, gas.
It just went from like $2.70 to like $3.50.
But remember,
you hear me?
in
Like, it went up a
2020,
whole
gas was
dollar.
like not even $2
Facts. You talking about when COVID
That's
was
because
around?
nobody was going
because
nowhere.
everybody was at home.
Nobody needed to.
But I think we've reached the end of it. I'm gonna let y'all, do y'all thing on the way out.
What up, though, everybody?
Well, thank you for having us.
Yes, ma'am.
It's our first time on the Popular Loser podcast. Make sure you're following us on Instagram at WhatUpDoe Pod. YouTube, just search WhatUpDoe Podcast. We'll come right on up. Make sure you like, rate, review, subscribe. What else? That's it. We're not really on Facebook. It's hard.
We don't like Facebook for the podcast.
And I'm your host, KD. This is the Popular Loser Podcast. Go like, subscribe, comment, all that. Popular Loser Podcast, spell the S with a $sign, because it's for fun. It's for funds. You know what I'm saying?
Period.
We out of here.
What up, though?